library information and networks. So this is the block number 3 and unit number 12. Block number 3 and unit number 12. Today we are discussing. So what is that importance of that library networks? So today, what is that importance of that library networks? We are studying in this lesson. So this is the library networks is the very important this topic. It will be covered to the competitive examination levels also. So what is that main and main objectives here? Today we are discussing to the mainly. So what is that networks is the what is the need and what is that need the recommendations that is making. And the need of that library networks. What is the purpose of needing to the library networks and the requirement of the establishment of that library networks? So what type of that library networks in India it will be established to discussions. And also international library networks. Also international library networks, how many networks are there? So we can identify. So in the basically, first of all, to India. So what is that India networks we can discussing step by step. That is the main. So here, this lesson, it will be covered library networks only. So that means what is that important of that library networks? The library networks, it will be covers to the information to providing to the n number of the users. They're providing the quality of that information to the professional networks. That is the mainly. So they are providing the quality of that information, accurate and authenticate of that information. The library networks, they are the providing. So in here, it is in the computer era today is the library network is the wide network, not only in the narrow network. So this is the wide area network is called as a national level and a global level of the networks is going on. So there, the IAL is their interlibrary loan facility. Delnet developing library, that is the one of the professional library network. It will be working of the working libraries to providing the informations to the LIS community. So in the different types of the networks are there in India. Like example, the library networks means, so basically interconnectivity is the one library to another library and one people to another people to providing the wide area of the network. So for example, our rural area, one library is there in the district level or rural level of the mandal level. It will be covered that jurisdiction only. So the DELNET is there in India, 29 countries in the 6 union territories. So is earning that in the world target of the population. So all the people can be reaching that information. The flood season is going on. So the summer today, the rains is coming. So that information will be providing worldwide. So that information networks, it will be not only for the general information. Library.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
This is 12th lesson, sir.
Yeah, 12th lesson.
Thank you, sir.
Class number 3 in the 12th unit. Okay. This is the different library networks are there. So first we will discussing the library networks in the basically best example in the DELNET, developing of that library network. So it will be established in the New Delhi. They are providing the interlibrary loan facility. So in the world, India wise, that membership cost is there around in the initially the cost is the 15,000 of the membership. And every year it will be renewal of the process. It will be goes to the 13,500. So once the user can be subscribing the database, that is the taken that membership of the any institution, any person by individually, they're getting that more information of the LIS community information, library information, society information. It will be covers. So for example, the civil engineering and mechanical engineering or any social sciences, all the e-journals, e-books, e-content of that information. So yeah, what are that useful to the library for the academic content of that point of view? That information will be provided to the DELNET library network. So that is one major network for our live example. So what is the need of that importance of that library network? What is that examples? Exhausting the what is that important need of that library network? So here, especially in the price and periodicals and other publication information, increasing the publication activities and reducing the annual budget and all this. But networks is the mainly important things. For example, we are procuring on other resources by online e-journals. That cost will be increasing day to day to the demanding of the people. Immediately.
Fifth paper, sir. 05 paper.
05 and
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So this library network is basically to providing the quality of that information to through the professional bodies mainly. So that is today is what is the need of the library professional? What is the importance of the library network? For example, as we are working as the library librarian in one of the institution. So what trends is the going on? What is that importance technologies is the going on? ICT applications is the going on? RFID is the going on? So what type of that information is the required in the current generation, that type of the entirely information. So in the global world, what is that cross technologies is the going on? Digital libraries, what type of the digital library with RFID or chip designing, what type of that patterns is the going on? So each and everything it will be providing to the information for the academic point of view in the public libraries of that point of view. In the development of the library, the library professionals are or library professional information is the very essential because where the rural area, for example, where they're staying here, so in the globally, so Bangalore, what are the informations is the going on? Delhi, what type of the networks is the going on? We doesn't know. As we in this library membership is there in the developing of the library network. Any one of the library network is there. So what is the going on? Each and everything in the clear cutly top to bottom events program, monthly program or seminars or symposiums or conferences, international, national conferences. Each and every information it will be provided to the through the library networks. Requirement of that establishment of that library network. So what type of that importance in the library networks is the needed? Organizational of the structure and providing physical level of the responsibility in the planning and policy formulation. So organization of the structure mainly here. So what is that establishment of the next on library network? Once we have the establishment of that one library network, so basically you have the planning the organizational structure. So what is that? For example, I am the establishment of the one of the library. So what is my aim objective is what is that? What is the structure? So in case we are the maintaining one of the database, that is the one of the network, the proper technical knowledge is the required, technical processing servers is the required. Such type of that all the informations are required. At the time only we are the establishing any of the library network. And also identification of the nodes and along with the specification of the collection of building and area and institution. So for and once we have an idea, immediately we are not open to them in the directly in the street and market. We have the building, we have the construction of that building and the collection of the arrangement of that database management system. It will be essential. The specification of what type of that information in our library network, where the providing the information, specific building structure and budget allocations is the most important. And the collaboratively development of the resources among the nodes. So basically collaboration and development. For example, not only now I am now telecasting in my network, one of the, for example, city cable network. City cable network, what type of the information that fellow is playing only for example, this is, I am telling. So that fellow is playing only in the videos and more, just like as a cinema songs and MP3 songs and movies only. So here, what type of the data, for example, I have maintaining one of the networks. So what type of the data is required to have the collaborative? For example, TV networks is there. For example, the Dish TV is there. Dish TV collaboration of BBC network and Ma network and several networks. It will be integrated one of the dish. That is the Sun TV. Then only it will be providing to the n number of the channels. So, for example, our ETV is there. It will be providing the one telecasting of that information only. At same scenario in the one Dish TV we have the taken, it will be n number of the channels is there. So that is collaboration. The people will be the Sun networking of the TV. They are collecting the n number of so that is the TV connectors. That is the channels. It will be integrated on platform. They are the providing to the pay and mode of the channel. So that type of the collaboration is the most important. Identification levels and services to be provided by provided. Identification of the services. What type of the services? So just in the library service, LIS of information. So current content of the information. So such type of that information day to day. So in the IFLA is what conference they are the conducting. What is the nutrients is the KM IFLA rules and framing the bylaws. So such type of that information will be reflected in the worldwide and the common standards and the bibliographical description communication among the nodes. So that is called as the bibliographical standard structures, bibliographical contents well, that is the main structures, it will be correct or not. So what type of the standards we have the followed. So such type of that information we have the following. And also establishment of the communication system in the improving. So communication barrier is the most important. Without of that communication of that barrier, we did not do maintaining the properly. So that is the main important here. And switching capability and helpings. So switching capability network is only working of the switching capability. So that is the bus channels, just like as n number of the connection it will be goes to the accessing of that n number of the people. The standard of the frequency, that is the server capability, it will be increasing. That is the most important. And central database is software helping local needs of the within the network. For example, we are maintaining how 5,000 of the peoples to providing the dish channel any one of the connection. So in our server also it will be provided to the our bandwidth is the very 100 we have 100 Mbps only or 2 Mbps only. The people will be asking the 100 Mbps of that capability of the DVD. That is the video channels. So in the 2 Mbps is the 100 Mbps frequency. How can it is the possible? How can it be providing that information? So network is the main important in the softwares. So what type of the software you have the maintaining? That is the systematically to maintaining and the guidelines and the content of that network based on the database. So in the databases is the DBMS, database management system. There are the two types of the database, SQL databases and PSQL databases. So SQL basis databases means one of the standards of the structure of the database. So PSQL is the one of the programming structure of that basis. So such type of the standard programming databases, networking, supporting of the softwares, integrated of the softwares, we can choose it. So that is the main important. And training programs uses networking facility. So in the training programs is the very, very important. Without of the training program, we have any of the no knowledge. How can it is the possible to accessing to providing that information? So on that basis, the training is the most important. So this is the technical acquiring of that information is the required. After that, so international library networks, what type of the international library networks are there? So we will discuss. International library networks, what is the main roles? So international library networks, it will be provided to the globally, not only for India, in the world-wise they are the providing. That is the best example of American library, online Congress library catalog. So it will be functioning of world-wise OCLC. So OCLC is the stands for so online cataloging rules. It will be reflecting the world-wise all the people can be accessing online cataloging systems. For example, in the call number in the for example one subject in the physics is there. Physics in the call number. What is that call number of the DDC classification which doesn't know? So immediately you can click it in the OCLC. It will be providing the online library access catalog, Congress catalog. So there the providing to the information to the directly to the so and so. Physics is the 530. The class number it will be reflected. So this is the OCLC is the international database and networking system to providing the LIS community of that information. So this is the main network of that OCLC network and the ESA network is servicing briefly discussions, especially goals and main objectives here. What is the functions of the public? This is the OCLC, the public purpose to providing good information to the library of the professionals. So especially in the all the worldwide, those who are the seeking of that information behavior, seeking of that information in the LIS, the information will be accurately in the worldwide, the standard of the structure in the mark format, they are the providing the informations. And the activities. So regularly they are the providing for the assistance and the assistance and the activities in the areas of the OCLC in the online system mainly. So basically the cataloging classification, I mean, the OCLC is the mainly to providing cataloging and classification and the bibliographical databases they are the providing. The OCLC truly they are the working to provide into the online access of the cataloging of the mode. Shared the cataloging, cataloging. So cataloging it will be reflected what is the methodology to access the catalog, that is the OPAC, online public access cataloging. The cataloging standard of the cataloging, what is the worldwide, what type of the books they are released. Immediately the people will be classified according to the AACR2 or revised regular of that method of the standard structure of that format and mark format, 21st of that mark format. What is the stand, what is the tag, what is the what is the description, each and everything according to the standard structure of the format of that method, the standard cataloging, they're the shared the cataloging to anyone, to all the people can be shared to access the cataloging. Online union catalog. So for example, in the union catalog, it will be provided to the total bibliographical data. So union catalog, it will reflected how many books are there. Entirely the total description, it will be reflected here. And a new hardware support. For example, this system, if you need, we have, for example, we are the taking to the one of the Soul software. So it is Soul software, it will be upgraded in the 3.0 version. Right now, in the previously Soul, what type of the software is what type of the software to, that is the previously the old version is the 2.0. Right now, the version is the 3.0. So that type of the standard structure also it will be accessible. That means customized to integrated on that part. That means this software, this tool, this new hardware, so any one of the new softwares we have taken in this network, so automatically this network it will be integrating any one of the new updated software here. That is one thing. And interlibrary loan facilities. So OCLCs, whatever that information they are the providing. So they are the providing this ILL interlibrary loan. So in ILL means interlibrary loan in case if you need any one of the book. I am asking one, I want one of the book for fundamentals of the library science. So fundamentals of the digital libraries in the world ways. That book is available in the Bangalore, one of the IISc Bangalore, one of the digital library. The book is available in the Estimate library. So if you need that book, so how can it is the possible directly will go to us? They did not give you. We are staying here in the Hyderabad, but the libraries will located in the Bangalore. How can it is accessed? Just we are the member of the Delnet, the developing of the library, that OCLC. So if you need any of that book is required OCLC, directly you can write one of the request letter and so on. So I want this book, I want this content of the information. Please kindly to send me after the referring the book. I will send back to you by the stipulated period. We have the mentioned the 15 days or 10 days. So the people will immediately sending that book to you. So once we have the receiving that copy, we can read it, and what type of that information is required, you can take it the point, noted that points, and againly after the 15 days of the time, you can return to the book. So that is called as the interlibrary loan facility.
Excuse me, sir. Please tell me the page number, sir.
So page number is 199, please. Page number is 199. You can see. So interlibrary loan services. So this is the main thing that they're providing this type of facilities. And also literature searching services. So literature searching services means, for example, best example, COVID-19. So what is that COVID-19? What is that virus? It will be reflected in the old ways. If you knew that SARS information is the required. So virus information, that information will be reflected. How it will be getting, that is the review of the literature. The literature searching services. In the toolbar where the searching in the database, so immediately it will be reflected in the COVID-19 period in the COVID, what type of the articles. Otherwise, in the if you need one of the article, academic institutions and accreditations, one article is required, you can search it. So those who are the articles is there, immediately it will be showing. So previously, those who are the writing on that articles, published the papers, published the books, entirely the content it will be reflected. So immediately that is called as a review literature. In case the best example is the review literature means once you are the asking any of that information that previously those who are the conducted the survey or questionnaire or interview or published that book, that is called as a review literature. For example, digital libraries in the digital libraries. So digital libraries, if you need how many digital libraries there in India. So immediately we are the searching in the search option. Digital libraries in India, how many digital libraries is there? In the previously, those who are the conducted the surveys or reports and each and everything it will be reflected. So that is called as a literature. In the 1990, who is the publisher of the paper? 2000, who is the publisher of the paper? 2022, who is the publisher of the paper? Entirely the literature structure, it will be comes to the year wise, all the journals it will be reflected. So that is called as a review of the literature. So the review of the literature basically when it will be useful, whether the thesis and dissertations of PhD and MPhil, the dissertation of that point of view or research point of view, it will be helpful. And also tools for internet, that is the internet. So tools for the internet means the OCLC, that is the OCLC, it will be working through the internet based only. So internet, through the internet, without of that internet, it will be not working. So online library of the Congress. So online cataloging, it will be out, it will be accessible through the gateway of internet only. So for example, in the OCLC is the website. It will be it is there in the US. So the server, it will be reflected in the US. So how it will be accessed through the web browsing only? The web browsing, how it will be possible through the internet? Without of that internet, it cannot be possible to access. That is one thing. Tools for the internet. That means necessary for the internet in this access. And electronic publishing. So OCLC, it will be publishing through the information not only for the book format. It will be only for the electronic format. E-content of that information, they are the following, they are the providing the OCLC standards according to the Mark 21st and AACR2. So what is the stands for AACR2? Anglo-American Cataloging Rule number 2. That rule number 2 standards. What is the title author? What is the publisher? What is that information? Title and statement of the responsibility. That entirely the body of the AACR2 8 rules is there. So each of the rule, it will be how to working, it will be reflected here. So here mainly, this is the only brief, the importance of these things. And next one, library networks and Indian science. Indian science here. So what is that library networks? How many networks are there in India? So first one is the NICNet. So first network is called as a National Informatics Center Networking. So that is called as a NIC. So it will be under the control of the Government of India, NIC, National Informatics Center. They are the providing to the networking of that each of the system. It will be 450. Previously, it will be covered in the India wise in the 450. That is the all the states surrounding the 450 districts in the headquarters in the NIC, National Informatics Center, Delhi. They are the connectivity of each of the area. For example, you can see in Hyderabad, the Burgal Ramakrishna Rao Bhavan is there in the opposite of the Hussain Sagar. The NIC, National Informatics Center, is there. They are the providing the state of the entire the information, it will be provided. It will be integrated to cover the around in the 20, in the previously in the combined of the state of the Andhra Pradesh. How many districts are there? 23 districts are there. The 23 districts, one of the NIC, National Informatics Center, Informatics Center is there. National Informatics Centers, they are collecting that information and providing to the directly in the state of that central of that NIC. So NIC is the statewide. It will be covered all the district information. So for example, if you need the Adilabad information, you can see the NIC. It will be reflected how many reservoirs is there, what is that collector name, what is the deputy collector name, what is that mandals is there. So what is the revenue source, what is that rivers, each and everything, that basic information, it will be reflected through the networks only, this database. So this networks. So entirely in India wise, how many states is there? 29 states, 29 NIC centers is there. In each of the state, how many districts is there? That it will be districts information also it will be reflected. That is the main NIC network, National Informatics Network. That is mainly the bibliographical network, and that is the mainly, and also that is the remaining OSRAMs and Popline, and this is not a necessary. NICNet is the only to covering the national informatic information. So that is the useful of the first networking, and also Ethernet. So ERNet, Educational and Research Network, ERNet. So ERNet is called as a Educational Research Network. So inviting to the Department of the Electronics and the Networking, Academic and Research Community in the country, ERNet. So for example, these 3 layers of the established in this IITs and IISc Bangalore, and IISc, that is the NCST, Delhi, Mumbai, they are the providing this information. So ERNet is the education network. So it will be what this network is basic platform, education network. What type of the new trends is the going on? Teaching pedagogy is going on. What is the teaching pedagogy? What is the technology is the going on? So each and everything, it will be land connectivity of the leading of the institution in the country. So this is the entirely the Ethernet, the education network. It will be covers to the entirely connectivity to the through the LAN to the different institutions. So they are the providing the education information through this gateway. So in the third one is the InflipNet. So InflipNet is the one of the familiar database. So familiar networking system in our India. InflipNet it will be providing to the brief information of Internet University Center in the astronomy and astrophysics such type of that. So information, what is the stands for InflipNet? InflipNet stands for Information Library Networks. So InflipNet, what is that main functioning? What is that? InflipNet is called as a information library network. They are the providing the qualitative of that library networks. So what type of that information as the required for the libraries in the library communities in the academic or R&D or research, any one of the academic institution, what type of that information is required, such type of that information, it will be provided to the InflipNet only. That is the key role. For example, consortium is there. So the consortium also is the working through the InflipNet only. CalibNet. So the Calcutta Library Networks. So it will be under the working of NISAT. So what is that National Information Systems, Science and Technology? So under the working of National Information Systems for Science and Technology, NISAT. So the Calcutta Library Network is the one of that library network. It will be controlled and working of that NISAT only. So this is the main, it will be established in the December 9, the Calcutta Library Network, it will be working in the establishing in the 1993. The locally it will be developed the software and maintained with the modular approach, encouraging the total autonomous housekeeping of that library management functions, respectively in the services, networking and implementation. So that is what is the stands for Caliber Network. That is Caliber Network is the Calcutta Library Network. It will be provided to the brief of the information about that institutional levels and information of the LIS community and the public people. So that the people will be collectingly qualitative of the academic institutions, whatever the information is required, that information it will be provided through this gateway. That is the main thing. And also Bonnet. So that is the Bombay Library Network. So the Bonnet is called as the Bombay Library Network. It will be established in the 1992. The Bombay Library Network, it will be covered the information through the Bombay people only. So the Caliber Network is the Calcutta Library Network. It will be covered the entirely in the Calcutta people of the jurisdiction of West Bengal, that area. So here in the Bonnet is called as the Bombay Library Network. It will be covered particularly in the libraries to computerization. There the operations like the resources and services and each and everything. So Bayonet is maintained by the NCST. So now it is called as the AirNet. So this is the what is that main important of the Bonnet is called the Bombay of the Library Network. It will be provided the collective of that information, quality of that information to the libraries. So that is the main link. And the HyblibNet, next one is the HyLib network. So this is also one of the library network, Hyderabad Library Network. So decisions of that working with the consisting of that networking to the Hyderabad, surrounding of that areas. So for example, this surrounding the Hyderabad of the area. So because in the village level, what is that mandal level? This is the small libraries. It will be mandal library or gram panchayati, small village libraries still working. Throughout in the Hyderabad is the metropolitan of the city. Here around in the 3 crores of the 2 crores of the people, they are the living here. 1.5, 1.7 crores of the people they are staying in the Hyderabad. So each of the how to give information it will be possible to providing all the libraries. So without of that networking, entirely it will be sending that information is very difficulty. So on that basis, in the library network is there immediately where the sharing and communicating that information through this gateway. That is one thing. And also SIR network, scientific and industrial network. That is also that is INSDAC. INSDAC is the one of the science database center. So it will be under the control of scientific and industrial network. It will be controls of INSDAC, Indian Science Document. INSDAC is called as a Indian Science Documentation Center. So that is under the control of CSSR. So that is the CSR control, it will be working. So what is the SIR network? It will be covered through the, it will be covered connectivity with all the networks accessing the international networks. So the SIR network, it will be integrated to all the library networks. Just like as what type of that network is the integrated is there, BitNet and CNET and JANET. So these are all the networks it will be under the part of. So SIRNet is under the control of INSDAC. INSDAC control it will be working. And also the facilities of that, what are the user needs, what type of that information required in the old ways, Unix and users network, YARNet and education research network. So entirely this networks it will be covered the integrated of the other networks and providing that information. That is the SIRNet. And next one is um, BTSnet. So that is the biotechnology information system and networking. So here this database it will be providing biotechnology information. It will be providing biotechnology. What is that new trends is the going on? New technologies is the going on. That information it will be reflected. And finally, DELNet. So we have already discussed the developing library networks. So library networks it will be established in the year of 1988 in the Delhi administrator H.K. Kaul is the established on that period. In the previous 3 years back, he was died. Right now is the Sangeeta Kaul is the leading of that personality to leading the chairperson of that DELNet. So in the DELNet, what is that sources is there? So it will be started around in the 1988 till date. It will be upgrading day to day and providing the qualitative of that information. So what if of that information the DELNet will be providing? So basically, union cataloging books in the Delhi libraries. Union cataloging Delhi libraries means the entirely the catalog all the libraries in the Delhi area. How many libraries is there? That entirely library catalogs it will be unified cataloging mode. So the classification whatever three catalogs is there. What is the cataloging? Is the column classification, DDC, David Decimal classification, and third one UDC, Universal Decimal Classification. So Universal Decimal Classification will be referred to the Union Catalog. So that is called as a opaque. Entirely, what are the Delhi area of the network of that libraries is there? That entirely cataloging it will be compiled in the opaque one structure. Once you will see, you can search it in the opaque. All the libraries of that information reflected here. 5.65 lakhs of the books are there. So that books information it will be reflected through the union catalog and union list of the journals. Union means entirely all the libraries of information integrated in the one platform. That means, for example, A library is there in the British, American library is there in the Delhi. In this library, running the 5,000 books are there, and B is called as a British library is there. In his library, running the 1 lakh of the books are there. So American library is the 5,000 of the books, and British library is the 1 lakh books is there. So this 1 lakh and 5,000 it will be merging 1 lakh 5,000 of the books. So that is called as a union catalog. Entirely all the books it will be integrated. All the libraries around in the Delhi and surrounding that area. For example, 100 libraries is there. 100 libraries, what type of the catalogs are there? It will be integrated. So that is called as a union catalog and union list of the journal. Same scenarios, terminology won't difference. That is the books. This is the journal. So each of that library, what are the journals? There are the procuring or publishing or providing the services. That list of the journals integrated one platform. For example, American library around in that 100 journals is there. British library 200 journals is there. This 200 plus 2 it will be merging 300. The 300 list in the starting to alphabetical order, starting to ending, it will be covered. So that is called as a union list of the journals and database of the periodicals and articles. So database means in the periodicals. So periodicals nothing but the journals. Periodicals means in the periodicity of the period, it will be published. For example, quarterly period. So one journal is the quarterly period, but that means in the yearly, the publisher that is publishing the 4 issues only. That is the periodicity. Sometimes biannual. The people will be publishing only for 2 issues. So some journals will be annual publication. So that type of the entire these things, that the periodicity, the which period they are the publishing, that is the periodicity, that is called as journals. That journals also integrated on the list. So in our library, A library is the 50 journals, B library is the 75 journals, in the 70 plus or 75 plus 50, 125 journals, it will be creating the serial starting to starting 1 to starting serial number 125. So around in the 125 periodicals, it will be reflected in the series of that order. So this the developing of that library networking, providing the software for the telnet. For example, in the library automation is the working. So library automation, what the platform it will be working through the one of the software module. One software is required. So Delnet we have the software is this Deltas. So Delnet is what is that? Sometimes in the competitive examinations also asking. So Delnet is the developing the which software Deltas. So Delta software in the Delnet is the which year established in the 1998, 1988. So it will be established. So such type of that questions also is the coming. So basically, the Delnet it will be developed the Delta software. So the software once we have uploaded in our system, the models it will be reflected, issuing of the books, written of that books, book history, cataloging, opaque, each and everything. There are the 4 to 5 models it will be reflected to the useful of the circulation of that method, issue and transactions of the library, in-house of the operations of the purpose. The software will be helpful to the one of the best softwares of the deltas. That is the mainly. So this is the major important of the example today is the major key role in the delnet, developing of the library. Sometimes they are asking the short notes also. Delnet, what is the stands for delnet? Developing of the library network, it will be helpful to the library professionals. It will be started around in the 1988 and providing the information to the LIS community for the periodicals, journals, magazines, ebooks, content of that information. It will be alphabetically A to Z. All the books are available in the library and also providing the interlibrary as a facility. So such types of things we can directly go there in the Google and search it. Delnet immediately it will be reflected all the information. Okay. So this is the part of the Delnet. And next one is called MLISC. So that is the Madras Library Network. That is called as the Madras Library Network. It will be started around in the 1993. Same, this is also a registered body of the society, providing the information of the Madras people, especially in the Madras jurisdiction of that area. So among activities, whatever the information it will be provided here, evaluating the networks of the libraries and information centers in India. So what type of that information in the LIS in India, what type of that information they are providing, that entire that information they are the gathering and collecting and providing through this networking in the that is Madras Library Network, and adjusting appropriate links in the national international library network, and also it will be this that is the Malnet, it will Malibnet, it will Madras Library Network, it will be providing the international library networks, for example, of the TIFLA, OCLC, so American Library, Stanford Library. So such type of that open source of the domain, what type of that information is the useful. So such type of that information, it will be providing this the network, and also adjusting in the resource sharing. So resource sharing information is the common phenomena of that library network. So every library network it will be providing the information. So that is the resource of that information. So what type of that information we have, ever sharing of that information. So I have one book is there, I have studied, I am sharing with you. So the sharing means it will be spreading to all the people, those who are the asking, those who are the enumerators, they are those who are the enthusiastic to reading these books, reading up that information. So this is the providing. This is the main essential services of this one is the Malibnet, and is the that is the Pune net. So that is called as a Pune Library Network. So Pune Library Network is also it will be integrated of the NIC National Informatics Center. So that type of that library networks also it will be providing to helping to the LIS community. So this is also one of the database it will be providing, and also British Library Networks and NCL. So many is there, but this is the main point of view. This one. So in this contemporary, whatever that examination of that point of view, questions it will becomes. So write a short notes of OCLC. So you can write OCLC. You can preparing OCLC. So okay, that is one thing. And discuss the library networks initiatives in India. So in the discussing the library networks initiatives in India. So in India, what type of that library networks is there? Right now we have studied enter the all the MLISC-net, Madras Library Net, CalibNet, Calcutta Library Net, InflipNet, information of that library network, and Pune Library Network. And so what are the networks we have studied? All the networks you can consolidate to write the each of that networking one para. So it will be reflected to the initiatives of the India. In India, what type of that initiatives is the going on in the library networks? Just the people will be asking the question, describe the library networking initiatives in India, or library, write the library networks in India. The questions, what are of the library networks are there in India? That is one question. Or otherwise, the describing the library networks initiatives in India. That means initiatives India means in India, what type of that networks it will be going on? What is the working? That is the initiative. That is the government of India. What type of that initiatives they are the taken? They are the establishing the library networks. That is one thing. Otherwise, that we will be comparatively write the comparison of that AdilNet and CalibNet and InflipNet. So, what is the CalibNet services? What is the Madras? Any one of the network. So you can read that, you have an idea in what is that MLISC-net, what is the InflipNet networks, what is services they are providing, you can analysis. Otherwise, the comparability, the people will be asking any one of that question, you can thoroughly to prepare and to write down the answer. And also discuss the terms of the library network, bibliometric network, information network, describing the activities of InflipNet and Delnet. InflipNet is called as the information of that library network. Purely they are providing the information for the library, LIS professionals only, LIC community only. Delnet is called as a developing library network. It will be academic database. It will be providing the academic information. So these two already you have studied thoroughly. You can, and you have in your mind, you can clear cut that idea. So immediately easiest of the way you can write the answer. Some sharp notes in InflipNet. So what is the stands for InflipNet? So information of the library network, it will be located in the Ahmedabad, so and so here. So this academic, this is working for the helping of the LIC community to providing the training seminars, programs, and technical sessions. So every year in January to December, they are providing the information. For example, you know any of that idea, how to it will be preparing the library automation. You'll go there in the InflipNet, the people will be conducting the one of the training program and giving to the certification and hands-on experience. They are providing not only for the library automation. So any one of the training, LIS community as the good librarian will get it that more knowledge how it will be working, what is the procedure, and each and everything the people will be trained the people and giving to the providing information 1 week or 10 days of the programs. So Bonet, the Bombay Library Network, will be established into the only for the helping of the Bombay people. So Delnet, you have no idea. Now you have an idea. Developing of the library network. This is the library networks. So any doubts in this regard, the library networks, please. So first of all, you can open to see the material and thoroughly you can read. So what is the contemporaries is there here? So what is the network? NIC, National Information, that is National Informatic Networking Networks, and AirNet, that is AirNet is Education Research Network, InflipNet, Information Library Network, CalibNet, Calcutta Library Network, and BONET, Bombay Library Network, and HiLibNet, Hyderabad Library Network, and CIRNet, and BITSNet, Biotechnologies Information, Delnet, MLISC-net, Madras Library Network, and Pune Library Network. This is all already the 10 to 12 networks. It will be reflected to helping of that library networks. It will be providing to the communicating good knowledge, good information to providing the LIS community and the people. So this is the mainly. So this lesson is over right now.
Excuse me, sir. One doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Suppose they will ask you one question like all the nets, whatever available in India means you have to write all these things, huh?
Yes, all the networks. What is that? We have the discussed the 10 networks: Hyderabad network, Pune library network, Madras library network, Calcutta library network, Inflip network. All the networks you can. What are the what are the networks in your idea? You can absolutely by hand you can write down. That's enough. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So in the finally 15 minutes time is there. We will discuss the next block number 4, the digital libraries. So in the page number 1 to 207, we have in our course material, and you can see the block that is the called as the MLISC-05 applications of information technology. The unit number 13 that is called as block number 3. Block number 3 is the completed today. Is the block number 4 is the digital libraries. What is the mains and objectives of the digital libraries today? We are discussing in this digital libraries. So today in the computer of the information of the environment, digital library is the most important because in the world ways, the physically we are the visited one library. So for example, if you need in the central library of the Hyderabad, that is the Gachbowli. So in the state of that library, state central library, where is it located in the Afghanganj? So we need another library network in IIT Hyderabad. So on the what are the information they are providing? How it will be get it? The libraries is there in the sharing of that network immediately to gateway to digital content of that information. Each of the library they are providing to browse and get it that information through the network only. So in this globalization of the digital in this scenario, so libraries is totally to digitized. So that means what is the digital library? What is the traditional library? Traditional library means sampradaya. Traditional is called as a sampradaya. So the traditional libraries, they are providing the manual method books, issues and returns. That is only it will be going on here in the traditional or periodicals or journal or newspapers is there. Issue and returns is the only for the traditional library. And according to the classification wise, each of the novels is section, frictions is section, newspaper one section. So that is the only these areas of the traditional library. So digital library means what is the digital library? So entirely what are the books are there? For example, I am working as the engineering college librarian. So whatever of that information is there in our my library, around in the 20 UG programs is the going on. Undergraduate programs of engineering, pharmaceutical engineering, biomedical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, electronics and electrical, civil, IT, and AI, DSA, ML, data science. So many courses is there. Entirely, it will be comes to the one structure of the courses. Okay, and also PG courses. Same thing. What are the UG is there, and according to the interconnectivity of that master's degrees is going on MTech, and MBA is there. So these three programs is the launching around in our library around 6,500 students, 350 faculty, 200 non-teaching staff is there. So it will be all the information how it will be providing in the one platform through the digital way. That means the digital library. So all the books it will be provided to the physical content to digital content. For example, digital content books, how it will be possible? How it will be issue the book? So that is called as e-books. Once the library is the procuring the e-books, the electronic book, that is called as electronic. For example, the same, this is for example, this is the print book. So this is the digital library, this book. This is the entirely the print edition of that book is there. This entirely book, it will be converted into the electronic way. This is called as a e-book. This is called as what are the physical content you have the taken the printout. This is the physical book. That is the print book of the physical print book edition. This entirely preparing of the before that you have the typing to enter the each and content. The soft copy is there. That is called as a digital. That is the it will be converted to the digital content, the binary system. It will be uploading through the in our server. So at that time, the book it will be converted to the digital format. So it will be comes to the digital format. It will be accessible and readable. Accessible and readable. This the both are is the going on. So this is called as a ebook. These contents we have the uploaded in our server. The server connections, it will be provided to the user ID password to all the students. They are getting that access. That is called as a e-library. For example, today Amazon, that is a small cute stories is there. Chetan Bhagat novels is there. Friction novels is there. It will be comes to the digital format only. So that means whatever the physical content of that book is there, the same it will be converted to the e-content. That is called as a e-book. That is the e-books and journals. Journals, international journals in the physical format is there. The same scenario in the electronic format is there. And also databases. For example, microprocessor is there. So microprocessor, what type of that applications is there going on? Entirely microprocessor developments in the previous histories. All the articles, it will be compiled in the one of the database. So in IEEE is there one of the database. It will be provided to the all the informations through through this way of the digital content. So easiest of the people, once we are providing the user and password, all the people can be accessed. In this basis, all the libraries, it will be after the COVID of the period in the 2019 onwards. So everyone will be converted to the digital format only. So digital content only. Okay. That means everything it will be goes to the e-content of that format. E-books or e-journals, everything. Okay, that is the mainly. And what is the main important of the digital libraries? So some important functions, the term of the digital library provided below. What is the providing the digital contents under virtual and geographical and descriptive uses. For example, the digital content, for example, IEEE, International Electrical and Electronics Engineering, that is the published by the America. So in the globally, geographically, all the people will be stored the information in his server. The server access, it will be provided through those who are the vendors, they are the subscribing. The people who only the information can be accessible. The fellow is providing the user ID and password. So a number of the institutions, they are the procuring. The people will be accessing through the user ID password. The geographical area also, in the worldwide, the people can be accessed. That is the mainly. So what is the evaluation of digital libraries? So digital libraries and evaluation, there are the different categories is there here. Mainly what is that? There is the similar articles, we will think it in the developing after. What is the mainly, it will be focusing the physical content of that information, it will be converted to the electronic gateway, it will be called as a digital library. In the digital library, every information it will be available in the digital format of that binary system. Once we are uploaded, automatically the computer, it will be saving in his server and retrieving the information. Those who are the user asking, at that time the system, it will be providing that information. So in the big data, the server, it will be reflected stored the n number of that information. But exactly what type of the user they asking, that information only it will be providing in the digital library. So digital library initiatives in the technical developments. So here, so many developments is there in the day. What is that? So digital library in the previously, previously there is no servers and all these things. Previously it will be working in the CDD first. And the data is saved only for the small one. My resume is there, one my research paper is there. So which place I am the stored in the previously by floppy mode only. In the previously in the block, just like as this model of the pair, floppy is there in the four side of the square of the diagram. It will be stored in the small disk. It will be stored the information that is the gone after the around in that 1994 is the floppy is coming. After the 2000 CD is the game compact disc, and after the 5 years the CD is the gone and the DVD is the game digital video description. So once it will be arising and uploading, that is game. Today the CD DVDs is also is gone. USB cables is game. USB drives is game. Entirely everything it will be stored in the digital database only. So that is the hard disk or server only. So this type of the tremendous technology is the day-to-day going on. So what is the main objectives and characteristics here going on? And the main is the description of the capture and store maintaining. So main objective, what is the capture and description and providing the distribution of that information. So what type of that image or picture, what any information we are stored in the server that information it will be provided to the digital content of that format. So in this area, and also introducing, providing new services in the digital library. So new trends and technologies, what are the information is there, we are the uploading and providing directly to the users, and providing need-based respective of that such services. So what are the needs importance today? All the people, what type of that information they are the acquiring, what type of the seeking of that information, that type of that exactly information we are the providing, it will be possible. Have largest number in the database in the CD. So in the previously in the CDs, that is the previous days, the CDs it will be stored the entire that information. So today is the gone that services. Avoid the rotated reducing activities. So for routine of the information, routine of the process, it will be avoiding this area. So what is the characteristic of the digital libraries? Assumption about the digital library. So digital library is the assumption to providing the qualitative of that information at a time n number of the people. So my server, my library is there. So we have the 6,000 students. At a time in the 6,000 students at a time to log in to access. There is no server in a discrepancy. Automatically all the people can be browse it and access the information, that facility. And also heterogeneous of the library. So the library which is the content, what type of that copied of the information, exactly the information, it will be provided to the user community. So that is the main important. All information in the digital form. So any one of the libraries, new information is there, immediately it will be converted to the digital format. It will be providing easily to access. For example, you have the one circular is there. Immediately we are uploaded in the circular in the website. Automatically all the for GHMC is there. Rains is came immediately to alert all the people. So don't come to the main roads and all these things. Immediately they are the give to the circular and upload in this portal or in this server. So automatically all the people can be watching. So that is the information, that is the digital format, that is quickly spreading the digital format of that information. And documentations are in the reference type. Documents are reference types. Just like as any of the document is there, just like reference services. For example, I need rainfall season in this month in the May. So what is that the rainfall is the effective in the paddies and all this in the April month and June month. So that type of that information, exactly quick information that we will collect it. That is the mainly. And fixity of that content. So fixity of the content. So what type of that fixity of that information you can require? That we have the uploading that information, and also a number of the users accurate exactly what type of the accurate information that we will be get it through the web portal. So that is the main the digital libraries. Technologies and the library collections. So technologies and library collections means technologies is what type of the books people will be asking. For example, my students is their computer courses is the boom of this scenario. So AI books, artificial intelligence books is the required. So what the type of the technology books I am procuring and uploading in the server, automatically all the students they are getting. So that type of that information technology, acquiring of that information, and also information seeking. So that means in seeking means, so those who are the people, what type of that information they are asking. Today engineering, all the students they are asking the information coding programming language. So software engineering, what based they are the working only in the program based only working people. So in the programming, what is that basic platform they are the working in the program. Program it will be dependable to the application of the tools of the mathematical. Mathematical tools is called as a coding. Coding is called as a programming. So in the mathematics and coding and programming, interlinking and each and everything. So that is the mathematical analysis, tabulation. So that type of that what the seeking, that means the people will be asking the information by coding books. So that is called as a seeking information. So in our library, our students, whatever that information they are seeking, coding books and programming books. So that type of that contemporary information, what is the what type of that information the browsers they will be expecting in our library, easily to find out and providing that information only in the gateway of digital library. That is components of the digital library. What type of the components is the required here? So data. So first of all, without data, what is the purpose of the digital library? we have the know any one of the data. For example, we have the e-books, we have the e-journals. So that information it will be there easily to find out to providing that information. So without of that information, how great is the possible? So first you can prepare the data. That is the numeric data. So numeric data in the mathematical analysis, numeric data is the required to uploading and the data starts with the information. And also that is the graphic data. For example, some images is there. So graphical data is this academic year, how many people is there? This academic year, how many people? The statement of that analysis of the last 10 years of the data, we have the analysis. The graphical data is also most important. And the photographics. Photographics also, photo images in the last year, what is that image is there? The earthquakes is the last year, what is the process? In this academic year, what is that? So reverse is the increasing and decreasing. What is the scenario? That is the photographics. It will be reflected in the previous and the current histories. That is the mainly. And the audio, that is the audio and video data. So audio and video data in the previously, what type of the data is there? That information. And also probabilities of the digital libraries. What is that marrow system? Each and everything they are the given the one of the diagram you can see. So this is the main important of the digital libraries to providing that accurate of that information in the digital content of that format. And benefits of the digital library. Digital libraries will be more benefitable to the all the users. It is simply to save the time to get to the quick information, get it that acquiring of that more information, qualitative of that information, technology and digital integration of the application, allow the collection and collaboration of that information, and so many is there, not only unlimited of the time, and anytime you can access n number of the browsers, you can access unlimited downloadable downloads. That is the facility. So there is no any of the limitations. I need the 10 papers, 10 articles. Immediately you have the download. Searching systems and review literature and day-to-day updations. What is the digital library is going on here and uploaded. So here in the limitations is also is there technologies. Mainly the technologies and the upgradation. So you have a clear cut of an idea what technology that means in the systems configurations. What is the supporting of the conversation? It will be most important. And cost barrier. So digital libraries the maintaining a cost barrier. So every day it will be maintaining the servers, coolest of the places, and not only removable at a safety and security of the technical person, regularly to monitoring the capturing how many bugs is there. So without of the bugs, you will be safe and security of the antiviruses uploaded and saving the data. That is also. And right management, that is the main thing. Rights of the management for the copyright of the tax. For example, one book, one person, one book is the root. So without of that permission, we have the downloaded and uploaded in a server. It is the called as a plagiarism. That is called as a copying. That is the copyright act. So without of that privilegation, without of that buying of that book, immediately we have the downloading in the after the 1968 in the Copyright Act. Once the publisher, it will be published after the 20 years before the Copyright Act. Once you have the publisher, I have the publisher one of the paper. So how many days it will be Copyright Act? It will be reflected 20 years of that period. After the 20 years of that period, my copyright is over because that type of the period only. So before of that, I wrote this book in this month. Immediately the people will be coined and uploaded in the web portal, just like as a movie. Once it will be released, that movie, immediately the people will be downloaded and uploading in the server. What does that mean? The copyright that immediately the penalized, the people will be arrested and taken to the just like as a movies. So this here also is the copyright of the ebooks and all these things. Without my permission, we did not allow to access of any one of the article. With prior permission, prior notice of that any. For example, you are uploading any one of that information, that official authentication, those who are the provided of that information, that people authentication of the certificate is the most important. This type of the technical occurs came here under interoperability in that is called as the interoperability. That is called as some technical issues and problems and networking and bandwidth also some of the problems. Those are, for example, it will be right now is going on the USA, and US is the sixth generation, generation is the going on. Here in the fifth generation is the fourth is going on. In the fourth only right now, in the fifth some advanced database vendors, they are the providing the networks. So this is here, the bandwidth is the major important. So we were uploaded in the big data where the providing the bandwidth, we low of the bandwidth. How can it is the possible? How can it is the possible to downloading the articles and accessing of that information? So bandwidth is the major problem in interconnectivity here in internet based. So this is the main important of the technical problem. Digital library technology is the all books, all research articles, research journal, analysis of the report, databases, and movies and entertainment, electronic thesis, and dissertations, geographical information, so all the information, it will be available here. And the benefits of major benefits is there, and hardware and software diagnostics, what type of that hardware is required, what type of the software required, it will be available here. So this is the brief structure of that first lesson. This lesson of that one, what is called as digital libraries. So next session we will discuss the
Excuse me, sir. I have one note. Sir, 8 papers means the last paper is practical, sir.
Yeah.
Where should we do a practical?
Yes, truly practical in the university only, madam.
Practical classes నడవలేదు కదా సార్.
వాళ్ళు చెప్తారండి మీకు, నో ప్రాబ్లం, వాళ్ళు చెప్తారు ప్రాక్టికల్స్. సో బేసికల్లీ ఏముంటాయి ప్రాక్టికల్స్, మీకు పెద్ద కంప్యూటర్ మీదే ఉంటుంది. Today is the technologies, what is that computer applications, what is that softwares. Once you have the uploaded in your software, automatically it will be uploaded, just like as we will buy the by phone. So all the operation softwares, it will be available now. Same scenario, for example, apps is there, Google Store is there, Google Play Store is there. If you need the Amazon app, you have the downloading uploaded now. So you can download the
ఒక్క క్లాస్ కూడా నడవలే ప్రాక్టికల్ క్లాసు.
ఏమండి, మాస్టర్ డిగ్రీస్ లో డిస్టెన్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లో ఏముంటాయంటే పెద్దగా ఇంత మీకు చెప్పాలంటే 1 year కోర్సు 1 నెలలో ఎక్కడ చెప్తారండి. ఏంటంటే ఒక బేసిక్ ఐడియా కోసం మీకు ఎలాబరేటివ్లీ ఎలా అంటే మేము కూడా చెప్పేది కాదు. దిస్ క్లాసెస్ మెయిన్ మోటో ఏంటంటే, యాజ్ ఏ స్టూడెంట్ మీరు వీటిని ఏమంటారంటే ఇంటరాక్షన్ క్లాసెస్ అంటారు, సబ్జెక్ట్ క్లాస్లో అనరు. దట్ మీన్స్ ఏంటంటే, మీరు ఈ లెసన్ మొత్తం చదువుకొని వచ్చి, సార్ ఈ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీలో సర్వర్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఈ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఎలా యూజ్ చేస్తారు, ఎవరెవరికి ఉపయోగము ఏంటి అంటే మేము అనాలిసిస్ చేసి చెప్తాం, దీనికి వాడతామని. ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఏమి నాలెడ్జి అంటే ఇంకో విధంగా అనుకోకండి, మీరు చదివి ఉండరు, చదివి ఉండకుండా డైరెక్ట్గా వచ్చి మేము చెప్తూ ఉంటే వింటారు అంతే. కానీ మీరు చదివినప్పుడు మీకు ఏదైనా డౌట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు, డౌట్ని అడిగినప్పుడు వేరే అర్థం చేసుకునే తీరు వేరే ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ మేము చెప్పేది అంతా ఏంటంటే ఎలాబరేటివ్ ఆఫ్ ద క్లాసెస్. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ఈ డిస్టెన్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్లో ఎక్కడైనా ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, మీరు కొంచెం కష్టపడి చదువుకోండి. సో డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ అంటే ఇలా ఉంటుంది, దీని యొక్క ఆపరేషన్స్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ఇలా ఉంటాయి. ఎప్పుడైనా మీరు ఒకటే గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, దిస్ ఈజ్ కోర్స్ ఫర్ డిజైనింగ్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ ద ప్రొఫెషన్ ఆఫ్ దట్ LIS. ఒక లైబ్రరీ ప్రొఫెషన్కి వస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి దానిలో ఏముంటాయి, ఏం ఆపరేషన్లు ఉంటాయి ఏంటి అనేది ఇక్కడే మీరు నేర్చుకుంటారు. బట్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ యూ విల్ గెట్ ఇట్ దట్ మోర్ ప్రాక్టికల్గా మీరు ఎప్పుడు చేయగలుగుతారంటే, ప్రాక్టికల్గా మీరు లైబ్రరీయన్గా వెళ్ళినప్పుడు, అక్కడ లైబ్రరీ ఆపరేషన్ దిగినప్పుడు ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఏంటి, డేటా ఎంట్రీ ఎలా చేస్తాము ఏంటి అనేది వస్తుంది. కాబట్టి మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే సబ్జెక్ట్ చదవండి, దాంతోపాటు ఇంపార్టెంట్ నోట్ చేసుకుంటూ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో చదువుకుంటా ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ చూసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోవడం అంతే చాలు. దాని గురించి ఎక్కువ క్లాసులో చెప్పాలా మీకంటే, అది ఒక సెమిస్టర్ చెప్పే క్లాస్, అది 3 నెలలు చెప్తారు. డిజిటల్ అంటే 90 సెక్షన్స్ కావాలా మీకు, అంత 90 సెక్షన్స్ జరిగే ఒక 60 సెక్షన్స్ కావాలా ఒక లెసన్కి. 60 సెక్షన్స్ అంటే 6 2 120 గంటలు కావాలా. 120 గంటలు ఎక్కడ, ఒక 2 గంటల్లో చెప్పాలంటే ఎక్కడ అవుతుంది. కాబట్టి చదువుకోండి అంతే. రైట్ అండి, ఓకే బాయ్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
రైట్ అండి, ఓకే అండి.